time for a few holy mackerel stories in today's news. Iran's President Mahmoud Ahmadinejad is expected to address the United Nations tomorrow in New York City. He will do so in the midst of major protests against him and his government. And unlike the protests back home in Iran, there's nothing he can do about those protests here. Thousands of Iranian expats and exiles from across the U.S. and Canada are expected to gather outside the UN building while Mr. Ahmadinejad speaks within it. They'll be protesting the shady presidential election in June and the severe and violent crackdown that ensued. On Thursday, protesters intend to hang a mile-long green banner across the Brooklyn Bridge, as if to say, if you believe Ahmadinejad won the election fair and square, we've got a bridge to sell you, or something along those lines. But the symbolic big deal will be the Empire State Building on Thursday night. The Empire State Building lights up at the top, often in colors that celebrate holidays or anniversaries or sporting events. Because green has been the symbolic color of the opposition in Iran, opposition activists had requested that the Empire State Building be lit up green during Ahmadinejad's visit. That request was denied. However, the fates have aligned for the opposition. The Empire State Building will be lit up green on Thursday because, coincidentally, it's the 70th anniversary of The Wizard of Oz. Get it? Emerald City? The fact that the building will be green, not for the activists, but for Warner Brothers, has not cooled the activists' excitement about this at all. The Wall Street Journal reporting today that activists plan to stand under the building and cheer when it lights up green in the evening, which should be roughly at sunset, 6:45-ish on Thursday, and the building's at 34th Street and 5th Avenue. I'm just saying. And Senator John Ensign is back in the news. The senator has been hard at work trying to seep back into public life after admitting this summer to an affair with a woman who worked for him, who he then had his parents pay off, and whose teenage son mysteriously ended up on the Republican Party's payroll during his mother's affair with the senator. Well, since then, Senator Ensign has kept a very low profile. He's refused to answer most questions about the affair, the payments, or anything else. So it was a surprise this week when Senator Ensign surfaced. He introduced 30 separate amendments to the health care bill. He's leaving no gallstone unturned, getting into the nitty-gritty of lawmaking once again, with important amendments like this one, which would, quote, replace the word fee with the word tax throughout the bill. Congratulations, Nevada. Your senator is hard at work. Opening up the bill as a Word document, hitting Control F, clicking the replace button. Forget the affair, Nevada. Obviously, this man is indispensable. And finally, former House Majority Leader Tom DeLay debuted last night on a TV show called Dancing with the Stars, which is lovely for him. Good luck. It is worth noting, however, that this is not Mr. DeLay's first encounter with this particular TV show. A couple of years ago, when daytime talk show host and my former colleague at Air America Radio, Jerry Springer, was a contestant on this show, Tom DeLay sent out an email encouraging fans of the show to back another participant, country singer Sarah Evans. Evans was a big Republican supporter. Her husband raised money for Republican candidates. And in his email, Mr. DeLay said, quote, we need to send a message to Hollywood and the media that smut has no place on television. The smut in question being Jerry Springer dancing. Ms. Evans herself eventually became famous for being the first competitor in history to quit that show abruptly because of a very sudden and public divorce when it was discovered that her husband was having an affair. There was also a pornography element to the story that I neither care to nor am allowed to describe. So given that history, that context, now the Rachel Maddow Show can present the kind of smut-free dancing television that Tom DeLay almost promised. It's like it burns, you know?